Matt Bernier for RacingPicks.com with 5 horses to take a look at for Saturday, October the 17th. All of them at Keeneland Racecourse, all of them coming in the late pick 5 sequence. One in each race, kicking off with race number 6. Let's start off down on the inside with the number 1, Cool Bobby. 7 furlongs on the main track. This is a starter allowance group. I think many people are going to look at the number 2, Jessup, as sort of a logical alternative at 5-2 on the morning line. First off the claim for Danny Gargan's barn. I don't really know what to do with this horse simply because the speed figures are competitive, but the race this horse exits has been dreadful form-wise. Take a look. 3 horses have come back to run. They've earned buyers of 73, 64, and 66. Simply put, not fast enough. The company this horse has been keeping. Conversely, Cool Bobby has run really well, I think, in each of his past 3 starts, really, if you want to go back to that 10-length score on the sloppy sealed going at Churchill Downs. 2 starts back, he ran so much better than it looks on paper at Saratoga. Frankly, I think he was the best horse in the race. I think he should have won that race had he not had a difficult trip that he encountered. You come back in the most recent start at Churchill Downs, he was the only horse that was really prominent throughout. That was anywhere at the end of the race. For the most part, horses rallied from off of it and ultimately rounded out sort of your exotics, your horses that ran in the top 3 or 4. Some of the speed figures that those horses have come back to earn in their subsequent starts, very, very strong, indicating that the race is live and legitimate. The winner that day came back and earned an 89 in the next start. Coastal Defense, the runner-up, came back and won next out with a 96. Cool Bobby himself ran third. And then the 4th place finisher was a next out winner with an 86 buyer. The number 1, Cool Bobby, for me, short price. But again, if you're looking at it from a pick 5 sequence, he's certainly one that you have to be looking at, saying he's going to take plenty of money in here, but he deserves to take plenty of money. The number 1, Cool Bobby, 2-1 on the morning line in the 6th at Keeneland on Saturday. Let's go on to race number 7. This one, look, about as clear as mud. You've got a bunch of 2-year-olds going about 7 furlongs on the Beard course. I went to the far outside, the number 12, Miner's Queen. 12-1 on the morning line. Second-time starter for Steve Asmussen. Adam Beschizza takes them out. Ricardo Santana goes aboard the other Asmussen. I get it. Maybe that's not a positive. But I think there's enough here to make you think that maybe this is a horse you want to consider, the number 12, Miner's Queen. Only horse that showed any kind of early foot of the runners that have started thus far in their career. I think that bodes well. Breaking from the far outside, I would imagine Beschizza uses this horse's early foot, try to establish some position. You've got some positive statistics as far as Steve Asmussen's barn is concerned. Past 5 years, turf to dirt, second-time starter, 2-year-olds, sprint races. 6 for 22, 13 times in the money with a 228 ROI. Now, you also take a look at it and say the horse took a little bit of money in the Kentucky Downs race in the career debut. Again, going 6.5 furlongs on turf. Based on pedigree, not what this horse wants. By Bernardini, I sound like a broken record. Bernardini, overall, not a great turf influence. A horrific turf influence when it comes to first-time turf runners. 16 for 459. That equates to about 3.5% as far as the strike rate is concerned. On the other side, dirt sprints, Bernardini, about 16%. I think this is the surface that this horse wants. And again, at a price, if you're playing the pick 5, maybe worth considering. And if you're playing the race by itself, maybe one to throw in underneath. I'm not suggesting a likely winner, but at a price, maybe one to use. The number 12, Miner's Queen, 12-1 in the 7th. We move on to race number 8. This is a very salty N3X. I don't think there's a ton of speed in here. And I've lost a ton of money on him in the past. And maybe he's best used underneath. But the number 1, Ritzy AP, has run races that are good enough to win against a group like this. You take a look at the most recent run, the Tourist Mile. He didn't have to like Kentucky Downs, but also couple that with the fact that that real strong. Flavius came back and earned 99. Ivar came back and won the Shadwell Turf Mile with a 104. 5th, 6th, and 7th place finishers all came back to earn buyers of 90, 100, and 98. A super live race. I think he gets class relief here. And I think getting back to sort of a more traditional configuration should only be to his benefit. Again, far from the likeliest of winners, but he should work out a nice sort of pace pressing or tracking trip. He's 15-1 on the morning line, and he has speed figures that are good enough to beat this group. He's a little bit camera shy, but the number 1, Ritzy AP, give him a look in the 8th race at Keeneland on Saturday. Again, if you're playing the pick 5, maybe you just use him as a backup. If you're playing individually, you can use him on top. You can use him underneath in exactas and tries and things like that. I think he's a horse that at least has a puncher's chance. Now we move on to the main event, the Grade 2 Raven Run, 7 furlongs on the main track. 3-year-old fillies. The number 5, Venetian Harbor, she's 7-5 on the morning line. I think this is what she wants. She's a one-turn horse, in my opinion, through and through. I think she'll be overbet in here, and I don't think she's even the best horse in the race. I think the best horse in the race, to me, really, I don't want to say no question because maybe Venetian Harbor is. I don't think she is, though. I think the number 2, Four Graces, is the most talented filly in this race. She has proven over Keeneland's main track. She's proven that she doesn't have to have the lead in order to be successful. She exits the 8 bells, where I understand maybe it was a little bit disappointing that she couldn't get the job done at odds of 9-10, but she was up there on a hot pace throughout and still stuck around reasonably well in the grand scheme of things. I think she's in a position now where if Venetian Harbor wants to go, fine. Julian Leparoux can angle Four Graces out into the clear and take over whenever he wants. Or if for whatever reason Venetian Harbor says, you know what, we'll let you go, maybe you get sort of a rerun of what we saw in Venetian Harbor's most recent startup at Saratoga with Gamine, where Gamine goes out there and she just wires the field. I think Four Graces is the goods. She'll be the play of the day on Saturday at 5-2 in the 9th. That's the Grade 2 Raven Run. Now we get to the finale. Claimers, $20,000, non-winners of 2 lifetime, a mile and a 16th on the main track. Not a great group of horses, for calling a spade a spade. I think the outside runner is intriguing. That's the number 10, Checkmate. For Richard Baltas, you've got Adam Beschizza. Again, that name shows up. First-time blinkers here. This horse is 1 for 7 overall, has never hit the board in the other 6 races. The only victory came in gate-to-wire fashion at Keeneland. I'm hopeful the addition of blinkers, the stretch out in distance, breaking from the outside, recognizing you don't want to give up too much ground. I think Beschizza has one way to go. I don't care how fast you have to go. Make the front, clear off, move over, save some ground, and hopefully you can hang around late. Speed has done well on the main track, especially going long. The number 10, Checkmate, in the nightcap, at odds of 6-1 for me at Keeneland. 5 horses to consider if you're playing the pick 5 or if you're playing any of the races. You want to use them on top, use them underneath, however you feel. Some prices, some favorites, a little bit of everything. Over on racingpicks.com, be sure to subscribe. It's free. All you need to do, enter your email address, and boom, you're in. Written content throughout the week from myself, Andrew Champagne, Peter Thomas Fornatal, among others. And more as we get closer and closer to the Breeders' Cup World Championships, there'll be some special content out there. racingpicks.com.